Today, we will be showcasing the MatDeck GUI designer using an example. In this instance, the example will be the SQL Management Toolbox, which is also available in MatDeck. As we can see, the SQL Management Toolbox has a plethora of both widgets and also containers. For example, we can see some widgets here such as the radio button, line text box, labels, as well as spin boxes, also regular buttons and combo boxes. As for containers, we can see containers such as tabs here, a frame here, and also group boxes here and here. Now, as you can see, on the left hand side, the widgets section is already open and we can see buttons, spin boxes, double spin boxes and radio buttons here. As we've mentioned, these are the widgets which are seen in the SQL Management Toolbox. Now, if we wanted to maybe add some more containers, all we need to do is click on containers and the containers section will open. As you can see, widget, which allows you to embed and incorporate your own widget into this GUI, group box, which we can see here, the tab widget, which we can see here. Now, if we wanted to add or change some tabs, we would need to click directly on the tabs using the right click, and now we can see add tab before, add tab after, delete tabs, and rename tabs. We also have scroll widgets and frames. We can see the frame here. We also have I/O widgets, also known as input-output widgets, which, as you can see, we have the COM widget, the TCP widget, and the FTDI widget. Finally, we have the instruments section. This contains a plethora of instruments which can be used not only for engineering, but a large variety of purposes due to how customizable they are. You can use it for an app, as well as for a data acquisition GUI. Now, there's a large variety of these instruments, but please be aware that these instruments are only available in the MatDeck GUI designer, as well as the MD Python GUI designer, and are not available in the MD Python designer selection. Now, with the left hand side done, we can look to the right hand side. As we can see in the right hand side, we have the X and Y coordinates as well as the width and height. All of these can be done to a specific pixel, or we have a grid which locks on, as you can see. Now beneath that, we have some information about the widget itself, for example such as name. This is if you would like to reference the widget in the code, and we also have font color. We also have background color, however, with a radio button, the background is transparent. If we were to, example, click on a line text box, we can see the background color. Next, we have the cursor and also the selection to have the widget enabled or disabled, as well as the tooltip. This part here, this will allow us to directly add any text into, for example, a combo box as well as a line text box, and also just a text box. Now, finally, also, some have a value. This is for checkboxes, radio buttons, and other widgets like that. If we tick it, we can see that its value becomes 1 or 0, a checkbox becomes ticked or not ticked, and so forth. And finally, we have the event function, which is what function you would like to bind a event to, so you can bind an event from the code to an action in your GUI. And finally, we have the events function section, which, as we can see, holds all the event functions which can be used here. And in a quick summary, that is the MatDeck GUI designer and how it was used to make the SQL Management Toolbox in MatDeck.